Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Twisted Gears. We're going to continue our D&D campaign. We're on week number 2, day number 2. We're going to have Bradley, the DM, explain a little bit what happened last week. And then we're going to continue on. We're going to learn a little bit about the mysterious pirate that walked through the doors. Bradley?
All right. Well, last time, our noble heroes decided to become pirates, wound up at the town of East Peak, which is strangely deserted for it being known as the pirate capital. They showed up at a tavern, found out that the Tribunal Armada seemed to be the cause of the mysterious disappearance of the pirates, and after a hilarious bar fight, a strange new pirate has walked in the door, which is where we start up the session today. So, this pirate that just walked in is soaking wet and seems to be covered in seaweed. He's got long, thick black hair and a beard with clear signs of starting to gray. His hair is braided down his back and almost reaches his belt. And his beard is so long that it's split down the middle, thrown over each shoulder, and is braided in with his hair. He's got a big, thick coat on and kind of raggedy clothes underneath. He's got a bandolier across his chest with 2 pistols on attached to it for quick drawing. If I could get a quick perception check from both of you.
All right. Get that D20, Zach.
Okay.
D20.
Nope. I didn't grab the right one.
I got a 9 or 6.
14.
Okay. So, Zach, you notice immediately that these 2 pistols on his bandolier are made to be drawn with his left hand, which is a hook hand.
What?
He's got a
Holy
left hand
shit.
that's a hook hand.
But he's drawing guns with it.
That's what the bandolier seems to be designed for. The man also has an eye patch over his left eye,
What the fuck?
and he's got his left leg is a peg leg.
This guy's either the biggest badass in the world, or we don't know something, and this is going to be awesome.
So this soaking wet, obvious pirate has just bust into the tavern door and very calmly and confidently stomps up to the bar and shouts out for Nancy to get the awful taste of seawater out of his mouth. Nancy immediately brings out this dusty, clearly expensive bottle, hands the whole bottle to him, and walks away. He pops it open, just drinks straight from the bottle. A half-elf, not you,
Oh, okay. I was like, what do I need to do?
sitting...
Do I need to punch someone? Because I'm not good at it.
A half-elf in very expensive finery is sitting at the bar. Biggest grin on his face. In fact, the whole crew that were apparently waiting for their captain are just glowing with joy. And this half-elf very lightheartedly asks him why he seems to be missing so many left parts. To which he chuckles and informs him, "I just wanted to let me crew know that I'm all right."
You did that for a pun. I hate you.
I did. At this point, as the crew gives very long-suffering chuckles, the captain notices the 2 of you, and He asks who these two new fellows are, which none of his crew seem to know. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hello, sir. My name is Vathris, and this is my brother, Hagar. And
Hello.
he's a silent type. He's not big on talking. We're here because our mother, Sally, has passed, and we're looking to continue our life, and we figured pirates is the way to be, and we're hoping we could join your crew if you're looking for two new people.
He doesn't seem to really take much time to think about it, and immediately says, "You're on."
Well, that was easier than I thought.
You even started rolling your dice. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
I
I
got
was
something
like,
to do.
gotta roll. Well, Hagar, it looks like we're pirates. It was simpler than we thought. We're guessing you're Captain Dreadbeard then.
Well, it doesn't seem to be quite that easy. There's a human in kind of dark leathers, and that dwarf from earlier who cold clocked the one dude immediately are shouting totally against this. They, let's be fair, they saw that brawl. They're not too confident.
Makes sense.
But most of their point is they have no clue who the two of you are, and they don't really seem to trust new people. But the captain kind of waves them off, doesn't really care what they're saying. Says he's absolutely sure the two of you are going to be a good find. The dwarf seems to kind of, whatever. Doesn't really seem to give it much thought at that point. But the human in the darker clothing definitely is not too happy to hear this. So, at this point, the captain, who introduces himself as Dreadbeard, decides to introduce you to the rest of his crew. He gestures over to that dwarf that was just grumbling about you guys' acceptance. Says, "Now that friendly ball of beard and muscle is Shev, of no clan worth mentioning. But he's the best damn shipwright you'll ever meet. Especially when he turns into a fucking octopus and fixes the ship at sea."
Wait. Okay.
Okay.
He then kind of points over to a corner of the bar that is clearly not as well lit, and there's a dark figure sitting there. "Now, that gaudy fucking demon in the corner is Zedru. I forget what he does exactly, besides buying jewelry like a nobleman's daughter and calling his nasty kin for help. The halfling asleep on the table over there, that's Timofirth. We pay him to sit on his ass and eat our supplies. But the weather always seems to be on our side as long as he's not hungry." He taps on the shoulder of the dark man that you saw clearly in a position of power earlier. Says, "Tall, dark, and vicious here is Hazar, our boarding party leader. No one on this sea knows ship battle like him. I may be in charge, but when the fighting starts, he gives the orders."
Interesting.
He points at another figure sitting at the table nearby. That pretty shaved head down at the other end of the table, ignoring us, is Tara. He very quietly and obviously whispers to you guys, "She has a nickname among the lads that we don't mention in polite company, or near her if we fancy keeping our manhood. Now, that half-elf you heard before, failing to woo the serving girls, is Uranus. He's a friendly sort, not the best deckhand, but He counts my money for me and keeps people alive that I don't want to see dead. So I tend to ignore when a few more coins seem to go missing than what we haul in. The flamboyant lad in the dark clothes with his head up his arse is Darwin. Always helpful, but rarely useful. He's the sort that's everyone's best friend until he ain't. Best to avoid looking below his belt. You're liable to catch something unpleasant. The quiet fella you probably didn't notice, sitting at the table right behind ya, is Chen, my first mate. He has the habit of not talking, less I give orders, and drinking water at a bar. At which point, the rest of his crew groan and sigh, while the man in question takes a very pointed sip of the water that he's been drinking. Last, but certainly not least, is Gromok. He gestures over to where Nancy is standing at the stairs. That huge mountain of a man chatting with the tavern matron. No one's quite sure who or what his pa is, and we're only mostly sure that fair Nancy there is his ma. He's a pretty simple lad, but I've seen him split a full mast in half with one strike of his hammer when he gets angry. Don't make him angry. It's at this point that Captain Dreadbeard calls out to Gromok, who very clumsily rushes over to him and seems to be excitedly grumbling, which is a strange concept, but is clearly happy to see the captain. To which the captain just kind of waves him off and tells him to go get the ship ready, that they'll be leaving soon. As soon as Gromok is out the door, the captain stands up, puts down the now empty bottle of alcohol, walks over to Nancy, and takes her upstairs. They are very loud. Uncomfortably loud with what they're doing. There is no question of what's going on upstairs, and it's making for a very awkward situation with you and the rest of the crew. Hazar, the dark man, immediately kind of tries to help you guys out and says, well, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask any of us. Or if you don't want to deal with what's happening upstairs, you can just go follow Gromok to the ship. None of us will fault you for it.
So a question for you, Bradley. Mm-hmm. The 4 humans that we so gracefully beat up.
Still unconscious on the floor.
Oh, so we don't know who they are then?
No.
Are they part of the crew or no?
No, it seems the crew is just kind of ignoring these guys. They seem to have been from a different crew.
They were just talking smack.
They were just talking shit and then got their asses beat.
All right. We have Chev, the little
Chev.
thing.
He's
Chev
a dwarf.
turns into an octopus magically, supposedly. Zedru.
Yep.
He's the...
He was the captain called him a demon, but you can clearly see he is in fact a tiefling.
Okay.
Which are
part demon.
They are of a lineage of demons. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Timmerfirth. Timmerfirth.
Yes.
Halfling. Something about the weather.
Yeah.
Hazar.
Mm-hmm.
Boarding party leader.
Yeah.
Tara.
Fighting captain,
yeah. Tara, scary woman.
With a shaved head.
What was her name again?
Tara.
Okay.
Aranis.
Half elf. Healer, I'm guessing.
Pretty much. He's your party healer.
Darwin. Just questionable guy.
Yeah. He
everyone's best friend.
Unless he doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
And then Chen, silent dude.
Yep. He's the first mate.
And Gromok, love child.
Possibly, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
who knows?
So that's the crew so far.
Yeah.
He seems retarded.
He's
simple.
Yeah.
simple.
Simple is the word you're
Simple,
looking for.
but strong.
Yeah, he's a barbarian.
He's a barbarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, Zach. So this is when we get to kick in and start talking.
Yeah.
So-
Do you want to stay, ask a few questions, but listen to the awkward situation upstairs, which we can easily drown out, or do we want to go with Gromok and get the boat ready? I'd rather stay and ask some questions.
Yeah.
Deal with the awkward moans.
Yeah, I'm okay with our captain fucking ahead of us.
Okay. I want to walk up to Chev.
I will inform you. This is a very uncomfortable. There are sounds you do not expect to come out of people.
That's fine. We're good.
All right. I'm going to have to ask both of you
Oh.
to make a just roll d20s.
16.
8.
All right. Hagar feels the he this situation with the sounds upstairs is making him uncomfortable, and he feels the need that if he's going to stay here, he's got to have a drink in him.
All right.
Okay.
I guess Hagar's getting a drink.
Love to drink.
So you'll walk to the bar. I think I'm good then with my 16.
You kind of want a drink too. Like you want a drink.
I do have a flaw. Let's be
So
honest.
do I.
So I guess I'll get a drink.
Yeah.
So who's sitting at the bar?
Sitting at the bar would be Hazar,
Mm-hmm.
Aranis.
And we talked to Hazar already.
Yes, Hazar is
The one who said
the
about the
dark
captain
man.
and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's also the one who offered to answer any questions you guys had.
Yeah.
He's a pretty big dude for being just a human.
Yeah.
He's also got a very big sword.
He also seems pretty friendly.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's all grins.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, there's Hazar, Aranis. Chen isn't at the bar, but he's like
He's at the table.
He's at the table
Next to
like
the bar.
right behind you guys.
Okay.
Um,
So we'll walk up, get a drink, and
Talk to Hazard.
I want to talk to Aranis. We already talked to Hazar.
Aranis, the other half elf.
Yeah.
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 Your kinfolk.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
walk up to him with the grog in my hand, and I go, I notice you're a half-elf.
Oh yes, our type seem to be rather uncommon around these parts, but it is quite surprising to see another one then.
Yeah, I was told to meet here in a letter by my now deceased mother and to meet my apparent half-brother over here.
Oh my, I must... So then the mother must be your human half then.
Correct. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
I have the opposite situation.
Human father.
Indeed,
Very
indeed.
nice. So, what do you think of the crew and how things are run in this?
Well, up until quite recently, I would say that this was the most magnificent crew to ever grace the sea. But, as you can see, we are quite diminished.
What happened?
Oh, well, it wasn't any one event. For the last several months, we've been constantly at war with the Tribunal Armada, which I suppose, as you were not pirates yourselves, you may be unaware of the situation with them. But the 3 neighboring cities joined together, tired of our quite formidable Black Fleet. And
So Dreadbeard got pretty crazy with his crew.
oh my, yes.
He almost had an armada, you could say.
There was no almost about it. 100 ships we had. It was a true armada.
It's crazy. I wish we could have seen it at those times.
But, like I said, the neighboring cities, tired of our constant badgering of their mercantile ships, and joined together and created their tribunal, as they call it. Why, it nearly put us out of business. I must say, I'm rather upset with how many of my friends are now floating at the bottom of the sea.
Sorry to hear that.
'Tis the life. I'd do my best to try to avoid such matters, but it is at times unavoidable.
What are your skills? You seem pretty adamant of people not dying, which is a weird thing for a pirate to have.
Yes, it is quite uncommon among our profession to be of the healer orient, but I saw a place where my skills could be used, and I make quite a bit of money doing it.
I could imagine. I could only imagine.
And I really like the money.
Who wouldn't? I may have to talk to you a little bit because I'm learning to be a better paladin, and I may need to talk to you about the holy ways.
Ah, yes. A very, very noble goal. Always seek to better others in the way of the light and holiness.
Let's be honest. It's a selfish reason that maybe you'll find out one day.
We all have our reasons, and mine are likely no more selfish than yours.
Perfect. This is my brother, Hagar. I don't remember if I said that. He's a quiet one, but...
Nice to meet
How are
you.
you?
I am well. Much better now that the captain's returned to us.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the captain?
Ooh, a magnificent man. He has to be above the norm of mortal men to lead a crew as he does. And I very much do believe he is no mortal man. He has died many times and always comes back to us.
I'm sure he really likes you a lot then.
No, I mean quite literally. He's been captured and hung at the gallows 3 times.
Is that why he's covered in seaweed and has the taste of salt water in his mouth?
Well, last time we saw him, his ship exploded. And, it took him about 2 weeks to get here, so I assume he swam.
That's all interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Simple question. Let's get out of the fact that he may be a ghost. Creepy man. Outside of a terrible joke, why is all of his left body parts missing? His eye, his hand, and his leg.
That's another strange thing about the captain. We're never quite sure which parts of him are going to be missing when he turns up again. It just happens.
What? It just changes every time he magically comes back to life?
Sometimes twice in a day.
Does he always draw his gun with his hook?
He doesn't seem to have a hook when he draws his guns. He's a very strange man.
Very intriguing man. I've enjoyed this conversation, and I will gladly get you a drink. But I feel like I want to go talk to Zedru over there. He seems like a dark, brooding type.
Yes. He likes to seem that sort. But he is a much more simpler type. He's, well, you'll meet him.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I get another drink because I managed to finish mine. And I look at my brother and wonder if he would like another.
I'm getting my third.
Oh, well. He's
thirsty.
He's a thirsty young lad. After that epic fight we had. I'm going to walk up to Zedru. I don't know if my brother wants to follow to hear the conversation.
I shall follow.
I walk up to Zedru and I politely ask him how he's doing and if it's all right if I ask a few questions, since he seems to be self-absorbed.
Well, now that you get over to the dark corner that he's lounging in, which you do note that there are actually several candles at the tables nearby that are put out, so reasonably he made the corner darker than it normally would be.
Yeah.
He clearly is dressed in very expensive clothing and just covered in jewelry. He's got earrings, nose rings, rings on all his fingers, 3 or 4 necklaces.
Does he have horns or no?
He
For
has
being a tiefling?
he
Or
has
does he grind them down?
They're pretty gaudy. They're
He's a
clear.
showman.
Oh yes,
He's a
very
showboat.
showy.
All right, so I'm gonna walk up to him and go and ask him, let him know that we're his new crewmen, and I'm curious as to why he's so gaudy. He's got all this jewelry and it looks real, and if it's truly real, and if it is, it's beautiful. But why hide yourself in the corner, but then cover yourself in gold and silver and all these other jewels of grandeur?
Well, he says as he swirls what appears to be a wine glass.
Surprising.
Yeah, very surprising. He's like, yes, I heard that you have joined our wonderful crew. And of course, all of this jewelry of mine is real. Why would I settle for less? And to ask why I would hide myself in the shadows like this, it's because it forces my company to come to me to seek me out.
So you're a very, without insulting, vain man, it seems.
Please, it's only vain if you don't deserve it.
So what do you do? What makes you so elaborate and special? Are you a caster of some sort? Are you a master of magic? Or are you a simple fighter or a rogue even?
Please, I am no plebeian rogue. I am a warlock of the highest order. I tame beasts unfathomable by mortal men such as yourself.
Yes, I can see that. We all have our secrets, I understand.
He's blatantly just uncaring for whatever you're saying.
What do you think of Captain? Since you like to talk about yourself, let me hear about someone else.
Ah, yes, the captain. Great man, great man. He can do just about anything that I deem unnecessary for myself to do. But I am happily following the suggestions he gives, as it does lead me to quite a bit of money.
You're in it for the riches, then.
The riches, the clothes, the women, everything.
Because everything's a suggestion from him, correct?
Why, of course.
Very interesting. You seem like an interesting character. I may need to get to know you more. We may have more in common than you think, or less. Because I, myself, am a paladin, which we're not the most friendly people.
You're one of those types.
So we're going to get along perfectly, I'm sure.
He has clearly become very annoyed with you in his presence. And
You seem bothered. Why do you seem so bothered?
He's pointedly ignoring you now.
Maybe you'd like to talk to my brother here. He's not as righteous as others.
I seem to have lost my taste in plebeians for the moment.
Well, I hope you enjoy your wine, be it red or white or whatever in between. We're going to go talk to the lovely Tara and see how her company is.
At this point, he immediately becomes far more stoic and has the 1,000-yard stare at the mention of Tara. Oh, yes, her. I suggest for all our sakes, you be polite.
Well, we'll see how it goes. And with that, guys, we're ending this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We've learned a little.
Did.
Yeah. I know Zach's a little quiet, but he's just he's getting absorbed into the
absorbed
the
into
game.
the story. I'm supposed to be the strong silent type, so that's just what I'm doing. Once I get more comfortable with the game, I'll probably speak up a little bit more.
We met Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
We've met Zedru.
Yeah.
So we'll learn a little bit more about the crew. We'll talk to you guys later. Very rough sex.
Oh, it is so loud.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think of the story. I've enjoyed it so far.
I've enjoyed it so much
campaign.
that I've spaced out and just got lost in the world.
Yeah. We'll see you in the next one. See you guys.
Bye.